Welcome to the Self-Discovery Podcast and Boss Talks by Mohsina Ahmad, where your story stands shoulder to shoulder with presidents, Nobel laureates, CEOs and CXOs worldwide. We bring you real stories of ambition, resilience and breakthroughs every week. Here, your voice is amplified across the world's leading media houses, from Hindustan Times to Times Now. If you're ready to build credibility, inspire millions and join a world changer legacy, you're in the right place. Let's start your journey to global impact.
I've never let my ups get me too arrogant, and I've never let my downs get me too down.
It's Hrithik Roshan's birthday, and the special occasion is that Kaho Na Pyar Hai is re-releasing.
I think the sky is the limit, and as an actor, I'm not afraid of taking up challenges.
While filming the movie, did you feel, that magical moment where you knew that this is going to happen?
I've always gone with my gut.
Your skin has this timeless glow that fans often talk about. So how do you maintain this? Hi guys, I'm Mohsina Ahmed. I'm the co-founder of Self-Discovery. Today we are honored to welcome the one who has not just entertained but defined memorable moments in Indian cinema. She burst onto the silver screen with one of Bollywood's most iconic debuts in Kaho Na Pyar Hai.
फिल्में मैंने की है, जैसे गदर 1 री-रिलीज हुई थी, अभी कहो ना प्यार है री-रिलीज हुई है। ऐसे फिल्मों की मैं हिस्सा हूँ जो लोगों को इतनी प्यारी लगती है और ऑडियंस और फैंस अब तक बड़े पर्दे पे देखना चाह रहे हैं, इसलिए प्रोड्यूसर डायरेक्टर मेहनत करके इनको दोबारा ला रहे हैं ऑडियंस के सामने। तो
अपनी नाक तो ठीक तरह देख नहीं पा रही हो, मुझे कैसे देख सकती?
तुम्हें देखने के लिए मुझे इन आँखों की जरूरत नहीं है, मैं तो तुम्हें बंद आँखों से भी देख सकती हूँ।
Captivating millions with her innocence, charm and graceful presence. But that was just the beginning. She went on to create history with Gadar, Ek Prem Katha, which became a cultural phenomenon. And recently, she proved her timeless appeal by recreating that magic with Gadar 2.
वो क्या?
थोड़ा प्यार।
One of 2023's biggest blockbusters. Beyond her commercial success, she's also an alumna of Tufts University, bringing a unique blend of intellect and artistry to her craft, which is very rare to see in Bollywood.
So the award goes for the best debut female, Miss Amisha Patel for Kaho Na Pyar Hai.
Known for her dedication to holistic wellness and timeless beauty, Amisha Patel has maintained her radiant presence in an industry known for its ever-changing dynamics. Her journey from a fresh-faced debutante to a seasoned artist who can still shake up the box office is nothing short of inspiring. Please welcome the woman who made us believe in innocent love as Sakina, who showed us what grace under pressure looks like, and who continues to prove that success has no expiration date. The ever-charming, ever-evolving Amisha Patel. Hi Amisha, welcome to my podcast.
hi, lovely to be here. Wishing you and all the viewers, firstly, a very, very happy new year. I hope 2025 is a phenomenal year for all of us.
Thank you, and wish you the same. So, Gadar 2's phenomenal success has been a milestone in your career after a comeback. While filming the movie, did you feel, that magical moment where you knew that this is going to happen?
Well, I did not know the colossal success we'll see. I'll tell you one thing, to be very honest. I will not deny that I did believe it will do well, it will be successful, and it will be a hit. Only for one reason, that the characters of Tara and Sakina were characters that have stuck in people's hearts and minds forever, since the film first came out in the year 2001, in June 2001. And when people live with those characters, and wherever we go, whether it's Sunny or me, they call us Tara and Sakina, and not by our first names. Even 15 years down the line, 20 years down the line, you know the kind of love and adulation that you've gotten for these particular characters. And I knew that everybody will be curious once at least to see and to know what happens in Tara Sakina's life going forward. And, if Gadar 1 was the story of their life till interval, Gadar 2 was their story post interval. So I had that much faith that the Gadar lovers, and there were too many, would give it a chance. And my friends used to tease me, "Isha, the only film that can break Gadar 1's collections will be Gadar 2." And I used to laugh it off. Little did I know that when it actually does happen, if a Gadar 2 does ever gets made and releases, it'll be this kind of colossal festival mayhem of a release, where everyone felt like it was a festival release.
Yes.
And so, you can only work hard, you can only be sincere,
True.
and leave the fruits of it to the Almighty and the audiences.
Yes.
So I'm very grateful, of course.
Beautifully accepted, and so much love that you have received. And I heard one of the interviews of Sunny Deol ji where he was saying that the promotion was not that much the way kind of success that came up.
I think the promotion we did in lots of cities, more than a lot of films do, or at par with a lot of big films.
Yes.
We did very good promotions, starting off from Jaipur to Ahmedabad, Chandigarh, Wagah border, Amritsar, Delhi, and we had unusual promotions. We just didn't go to a movie theater or to radio channels or to the media channels and promote it. Like, we went to a Wagah border because it is an India-Pakistan story. We had Delhi, the sound of Gadar, where we had the musical album releasing, and in front of people we were performing and things. So we did very unusual kind of promotion. But the colossal love, adulation, of course, that you receive when the box office numbers come in, that's something no one can tell, and that's the most heartening. And it continued to go on. Like, okay, we got a 40 crore plus opening on a Friday, and Salman Khan very sweetly tweeted and posted on Instagram, for us, "Jab 2.5 kilo ka haath, to 40 crore. Congratulations, team Gadar, Amisha Patel, Sunny Deol, etc." And we were still nervous. Okay, chalo, weekend aa gaya, now what it'll be. But this was one horse that didn't seem to stop racing, and racing ahead. So, of course, it was very heartening to know the love and affection for the film, for us. I can only thank my audiences that have stuck with us for so many years, 25 now for me. 40 plus for Sunny, and of course for the brand Gadar. I'm very grateful to God and my audiences for loving us so much.
So we are in 2025, January, and it's Hrithik Roshan's birthday. And the special occasion is that Kaho Na Pyar Hai is re-releasing the most iconic, which created history. And, it built up so much of love for the chemistry between you and Hrithik Roshan. How do you feel about this?
Well, I have tears in my eyes as I speak to you, reliving it. It was like two babies who became the sensation of the country, or national crushes, overnight sensations, and the heartthrobs of millions around the world. Not expecting it at that time. Hrithik and I used to literally tease each other. I used to call him superstar, and I used to call him Pierce Brosnan and all that. I used to always tell him that you don't need to worry, you don't need to stress. I was anyway carefree, and I was like, I'm chilled, whether it works or not. Of course, we were always hoping it would work, but we always kept it at the back of our minds that you never know what is loved by the audience and what is not. We used to practice our autographs together, telling each other in the advent, like, suppose we become famous one day, how would we sign autographs? How would we do it? What would we write? We were two kids.
So
it was
sweet,
very sweet. It was very cute. And this is something that only a first time hero and heroine couple, I would call us friends more than anything, can go through, because this can never happen a second time again. And then when your hard work is paid off, and when the film actually released on the 14th of January on Sankrant Day, in 2000, that Friday changed our lives, and we became this national heartthrobs overnight. We just looked at each other, in a way that we couldn't digest it. And we were like, okay, now those autographs are going to come in use. So it's beautiful to know life has come full circle. And 10th of Jan happens to be Hrithik's birthday. So it's a double gift. It's the biggest gift he can give his fans, and the biggest return present will be if we go to the theaters again and watch it. But yeah, 14th Jan is our silver jubilee anniversary of 25 years. And it feels amazing because Gadar 1 had a re-release in 2023, just before the Gadar 2 released in August. And that was hard to digest. That a film is re-releasing and you get to watch such beautiful films on screen on 70 mm. And to have Kahona Pyar Hai come back is like, wow, and I know how many people, like I go into my DMs and check, or my friends and family, and now they're teasing me that the collections of Kahona Pyar Hai can only be beaten if Kahona Pyar Hai 2 is made.
Absolutely. We want a sequel. The whole country is saying we want a sequel. When is it happening? You're looking so beautiful. Ritik is in his best fitness. When is this happening? When are we expecting this?
I don't know. That's a question you need to ask the producer director, Mr. Rakesh Roshan. But all I can say is that, yeah, if Kahona Pyara 2 had to happen, it would definitely get the cash registers at the box office break completely.
Yeah.
I agree with.
I think the whole nation
and
wants it.
records will be created. New records will be surely created.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's gonna beat all your previous successes, I'm sure, because the whole nation is saying this. We want a sequel in this. So
It's a great Gadar at the box office.
yes, absolutely. Your skin has this timeless glow that fans often talk about. Your fitness, your skin. You don't look that, this 24, 25 years have passed by since we last saw you. So how do you maintain this? Is there any kind of ritual do you follow daily, your lifestyle? Can you talk about that?
First, I definitely have to say that it has to a lot to do with genetics.
Mhm.
My late grandmother, who passed away 10, 12 years ago at the age of 90, had the most flawless skin. She was like a Kashmiri, fair, pink cheeks, green eyes, but she did not have a single wrinkle at the age of 90.
Wow.
And what I learned from her, and the women in our family are blessed genetically, so are the men, that healthy eating, healthy lifestyle, clean eating, exercise, drinking water, and none of me, my family members, our cousins, like no one has ever been into drinking heavily, alcohol, drugs, cigarettes, all that has never been done. I do exercise at the gym. So yes, part is genetics and part is taking care. I do have a good skincare regime. I never sleep with any makeup on. I barely use any makeup most days of the year. I ensure that I use good skincare products, go for regular facials. And I think when you're a good soul inside, your
It
face radiates
reflects.
that niceness.
Yes.
And
Yes.
I think I've stayed away from being cunning, conniving, overly greedy. I've always had a positive outlook through life, through my ups and downs. I've never let my ups get me too arrogant, and I've never let my downs get me too downs. I think I've just fought life in a positive way with a smile on my face. And that positive energy, surrounding yourself with positive people that love you, keeps the glow going. You need all of it. It's not, I wouldn't say that it's just that one thing, percentages and mixtures of all these things together.
It shows, and I'm sure that, 90 is what we will see you again in the same way. OTT platforms are creating diverse content these days. So, would you be choosing more OTT content or the big screen
I
multiplexes?
would choose what interests me, like I have always done for the past 25 years. Some of my choices were actually questioned. For example, Gadar 1, when I chose it, Hamraz, when I chose it, were questioned by other filmmakers. And I was told I should not be doing these films, that they are not what I should be part of. Honeymoon Travels was a new kind of formula they were testing when Farhana
Yes.
came to me with this kind of subject. It was a very new, these slice of life films weren't made. We were the
Yes.
first to experiment with it. So even Bhool Bhulaiya was one of its new kind of ghost stories. And
Yeah.
I agreed to be part of a lot of films that actually went against the quite essential, of what a heroine should be doing. Gadar 1, I should not have been playing a mother so early in my career. I was told I'm committing harakiri by doing it. I'm coming as a young, fresh schoolgirl in Kahona Pyare, and my next film, I go from school to being married and to having a kid. Who
Right.
does that in their second film? You're stupid, you're crazy, you're going to finish your career. This is what veteran filmmakers, stalwarts of the film industry, and others told me when they knew of the content of Gadar 1. But I have always gone with my gut. In fact, when I have made calculated attempts to do films like, okay, tick mark hero correct, tick mark production house correct, tick mark story correct, tick mark my character correct, they have somehow not worked at the box office. You know, so I have always gone with my gut and whatever I have loved to do. And I will continue doing that. I don't isolate even my disasters from me. If I'm even part of a flop film, I am part of the flop film. It is also my flop, not just the directors and producers. Because when a film becomes a hit, I can't take all the credit. Every film is a teamwork. And so, whatever interesting work comes from me, whether it's OTT or cinema, 70mm, I'd love to do it all. I'm an actor, I'm a performer, I'm an artist. I've done Telugu films with people like Junior NTR, Pavan Kalyan, Balakrishna, Mahesh Babu, the biggest stars in Telugu, Vijay in Tamil. And at a time when there was no Instagram for people to even know, today they look up to these stars. Today, Junior NTR is doing a war two with Hrithik. You know, there's a crossover. All the Telugu, Tamil stars have become pan-India stars. There's no divide anymore between the Telugu, Tamil, you know, Hindi film industry. It's all almost become one. But I've worked with all of these stars way before it was cool to be doing such a big project with them. So like I said, and I've given blockbusters there. I was known as the Pan-Asian hit blockbuster queen at that time. And I'm very proud of the choices I made even then. As today, girls talk about their films with Junior NTR or someone, and I've been there, done that. So, you know, it was again a gut instinct that I went ahead and did it and went against the tide. So, I'm an actor. I always say, for me, acting is a universal language. Whether it comes in Bengali films, whether it comes in Marathi, whether it comes in Telugu, Tamil, I've always been open. I've done them all. I've done so many regional films. I've done so many Hindi films. I think OTT is a spectacular platform, versatile kinds of cinema and web series, which sometimes 70mm doesn't allow you to. So whatever interesting things come my way, I will definitely be open to all. And I think I have such a long way to go. There are so many roles and characters I have not played that I'm waiting to get my teeth into them.
So, you know, all the best for that. And I'm sure, you know, if you follow your gut feeling, it is the right thing to do, because we have seen the rewards that you have received and what the country has seen in terms of the performances that you have given. So, all the very best to you for this. Many in the industry believe in Nazar and its effect on success. So, you going out of the industry for some time, was it your conscious decision, or was it something that, you know, you believe was the effect of Nazar because you are at the top of your game then?
So no, I definitely believe in Nazar, but I also believe that sometimes as an actor, you have to step back and do only the kind of work that gets you excited. To be honest, would I have rather had one Gadar 2 coming after a gap and the audience is seeing me and giving me iconic blockbuster and giving me Bollywood's biggest hit again? Or would I have wanted to be part of those 12, 15, 20 Friday films that come on a Friday? You spend time only in makeup vans making reels and Insta stories, going for promotions. And when the film comes on a Friday, people have forgotten it by Saturday and not even remembered your character, not even remembered the film. So honestly, I feel that today, post-COVID especially, they say, no, if you're 40 plus as an actor, you're the true star because that's what the audience is going back and seeing on big screen, 70mm. If you're under that, then you're good for Instagram, you're good for Insta stories, you're good for socialite parties, but no one's cutting the tickets to come see you at the box office. Even a Shah Rukh Khan, he had to take that step back, make himself not seen for 5 years before he could come back with a Pathan. Someone like Amir did it so early in his career. After Lagan, he was not seen for 4 years, and I was part of his film Mangal Pandey when we came back after 4 years. And I feel very proud at my choices because I'm the only actor who has 3 successful franchises to her name. Bhool Bhulaiya, Gadar, now people wanting Kaho Na Pyar Hai back
We want
again.
it. Yes, yes.
So
we absolutely do.
It's a franchise that's come back, but definitely a re-release. So I don't know how many people are so fortunate. I've had 2 huge franchises to my name, and of course, my third franchise, which was Race. You know, Race 2 also did wonders at the box office. So I have been part of the biggest blockbusters of Indian cinema. So would I trade that for a few films just to be busy? I don't think so, because minus that also, I don't have time. I'm busy 300 days out of 365.
Wow.
Till today, Lazy Lamhe, just one song gets people on the dance. So would I have that one song that is remembered, or would I have 10 songs that come and go? I want quality over quantity. So I'm
Wow.
very, very happy about this.
So here I want to ask you, do you do your affirmations? Because the kind of success, even after a break that you have gotten, was there a visualization board, an affirmation that you follow through your day, which gets you
The
all these?
only visualization I have when I go is the only visualization and affirmation I have is that I go to the mandir and I just tell God, I'm your child. Thank you for all that you have done. And I know you will take care of me in the future. There's just gratitude and thanks. And I've never been overtly greedy in my life. I've never needed a godfather in the film industry. I've never had a boyfriend and a hero to take or anything to help my career take it forward. All I've had is my father in God, and I'm more satisfied with that.
From Rakesh Roshan seeing you in a shadi until now, I feel that you are God's child in a way that, he has a special feeling
Truly.
for you, a special place for you.
You know, Mr. Rakesh Roshan didn't even audition me for Kaho Na Pyar Hai. We literally signed the film on a Saturday and we were shooting in 4 days on a Wednesday. I had no audition. I'm the only outsider who, at the age of 47, 48, is a poster girl and has given a 500 crore plus film. How many can talk about that or boast about that? So I'm very proud of that, and I always will be. God has been very kind.
As someone who has worked across different decades in cinema, what kind of roles are you most drawn to now? Going forward, what kind of roles are you seeking or directors to work with?
All kinds, all kinds. Thrillers, spy detectives, period films, cops, lawyers. But I'm not someone who's crazy about very dark films. I like my films to still be happier
Positive and hopeful. Yes.
and loved, like universally, to be able to be watched by a universal audience.
Except cinema, what are the things that you are expecting in your life?
Well, I'm working on a lot of things that I'm focusing on. Like, how Kim Kardashian has lots of avenues that she's taken. I
Yes.
too tend to expand into other avenues. I don't want to say much about it right now and jinx anything, but I have a lot of business in my mind because I am an economics graduate, a gold medalist from Tufts. I do hail from a business family. So, of course, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. I have to also diversify into what is in my blood too genetically, and I know I'll be good at it. So there are definitely many avenues that I am.
Is it
looking
going to be a
into
cosmetic
2025.
brand like K Beauty?
Maybe. Like Amisha doesn't like to talk. She likes to surprise.
You have mentioned that, for your co-star like Hrithik Roshan, and you both are into fitness in that same level of fitness. So would you like to say about any kind of further, if not a sequel for Kaho Na Pyar Hai, is there anything in the pipeline that you both would like to work on?
You'll hear
Any
about a
kind of
lot
role.
of things in 2025. And why only sequels? I think even first-time
That's-
films, if made well, sequels becomes easier for a producer, director, and actor because they played the characters, they're familiar, and the audience has already taken an attachment to all of that, But I think a challenging, something challenging is to do a completely fresh film and still get the audience's love as well. That also is something exciting as an actor. I look forward.
Something that will suit you, I believe, because nowadays, a woman, main role character of a woman has been so celebrated in so many movies we have seen, from Mimi and Kareena Kapoor also playing something which is a very strong women role. So would you be interested in a women-centric role? And if it is...
I, in fact, did a woman-centric role way ahead before anyone was doing it with Mr. Mahesh Bhatt in Ye Zindagi Ka Safar with Vishesh Films. And it was very critically acclaimed and the film did well. They managed to recover their money, which at that time was very difficult, to do. And I had the film completely on my shoulders. So I dabbled with women-oriented subjects very early in my career. In fact, 1.5, 2 years into my career itself. So why not now, And I think... people like Madhuri, Manish Koirala, Ravina Tandon, all are doing such great work on OTT as well. Sushmita Sen. Sushmita had done her Arya completely helmed by her, which was fabulous. So I think the audience's mindsets also have changed. They're happy to see women in good roles. And I have a lot, like I said, lawyer, a cop, a detective. I'd love to do a complete Rohit Shetty kind of a David Dhawan, which I did with Salman
Oh,
Khan.
yes,
But
it's
where
gonna
I'm
suit
actually
you.
also a comical character. Yeah, something funny, cute, bubbly, which I dabbled with in Race 2 with Anil Kapoor and Deepika and all. And I also dabbled with a kind of a bubbly character like that in Thoda Pyar, Thoda Magic with Saif in the Yash Raj film. So
Yes.
I think the sky is the limit. And, as an actor, I'm not afraid of taking up challenges and doing new things or replaying old roles. I'd love to do an all and all out romantic film, a seasoned romantic film with someone like Shah Rukh, with someone like Hrithik. Like it would, even that is great because you're seeing such less rom-com films. Even that would
These
come like a
days,
breath of
yes.
fresh air.
Yeah.
No,
True.
I think even that is like a breath of fresh air. What people loved in Gadar 2 was the romance between Tara and Sakina as well.
Yes, yes.
So I would like to dabble in everything as an actor. Anything that challenges me is welcome.
Great. Thank you so much, Amisha, for sharing your journey and your success as well with us.
I really enjoyed being on your podcast. It was refreshing. I, of course, love when women helm shows such as yours. And I think you've asked some of the most mature and sensible questions. And I hope that the viewers, our audiences, enjoy seeing it as much as we've enjoyed doing it with each other.
Amazing. I loved it, and I love you as a person now that I know you. Okay, I just love you as a person. I have always loved you as an actor. So you bring out that innocence. No matter what age you are in, you bring out that innocence, and now I can see that why it shows on screen, because you are yourself a very, very spiritual soul, and you believe in the guidance. You have that gratitude, and it's amazing connecting with you. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you, and a lovely day to you.
Santosh is very special. The subject matter is very, very interesting.
Did you have any preparation before that?
I mean, life is tough for everyone at every stage.
The kind of roles that you're choosing, it is very unique, it's very different.
Never ask for advice. If you need advice, don't do it.
So do you think actors change when they become famous?
So I think it's a 24/7 job in that sense, and very exciting one.
Santosh has been a remarkable milestone in your career. Hi everyone, I'm Mohsin Ahmed, co-founder of Self Discovery. Today we have with us Sanjay Bishnoi, who is an evident standout talent in Indian and global cinema today, captivating audiences with his powerful performances and dedication to his craft.
आप लोग भी हर चैनल पे छाए हुए हो, बधाई हो, हाँ? बहुत बढ़िया, डटी रहिए दीवान जी.
With each project, Sanjay demonstrates his ability to get into complex character and narratives, carving a unique space in the industry. He garnered international acclaim with his role as Beniwal in Santosh, a groundbreaking Hindi language film directed by Sanya Suri. From its premiere at the 77th Cannes Film Festival to its shortlisting for the 97th Academy Awards Oscars in 2025, the film's journey reflects Sanjay's knack for being part of meaningful cinema.
स्कूल ग्रुप में मदद मांगी थी ना उसने और तू फंस गया था.
मुझे थोड़ी पता था कि 18 लाख रुपए मांगेगा.
Sanjay's choice of roles and performances shines in projects like the Emmy-winning Delhi Crime, where he portrayed Akash, playing a crucial role in one of India's most important crime narratives.
दो ने मेरे साथ गाली गलौज करना शुरू किया. एक ने ब्रजेश और विकास को रॉड लाने को कहा.
His depth as an actor was also evident in Thar, a non-Western film alongside Anil Kapoor, and 12 Fail, directed by Vidhu Vinod Chopra. As an artist consistently drawn to transformative roles, Sanjay's growing filmography reflects a commitment to meaningful cinema and delightful watching for audiences. In Santosh, his portrayal of a character navigating societal challenges highlighted his ability to connect with audiences while pushing creative boundaries. Upcoming ventures such as Sangeet Pinkai and Ikatthe further position Sanjay as a dynamic force in contemporary cinema. His international appeal and dedication to thought-provoking storytelling continue to captivate audiences, securing his place as one of the most promising talents of his generation. Hi Sanjay, congratulations on Santosh and welcome to my show.
Thank you so much.
Santosh has been a remarkable milestone in your career. Can you share your experience working on this project and its journey from Cannes to the Oscars?
Santosh
Right.
is very special because the subject matter is very, very interesting. Sandhya Suri, the director, she has been with the subject for like 8 to 10 years, and the project was picked by Sundance in US. It was started by them. It was developed in Sundance Laboratory for many years, and then Sandhya took a long journey with different production houses, and finally India, England, and France all came together and built this project, which was shot in India, but there are all from all over the world. So in that sense, it's a global project with Indian actors, artists, and I'm really proud of what it has achieved till now.
We are proud as well.
Yes.
It's such an honor for the country itself.
Yeah,
So-
and it's an official entry at Cannes Film Festival. We were in uncertain regard category with All We Imagine as Light, as we all know about the great film. So there was another film, Shameless, from India. So all the films were there at Cannes this year.
Great. When you began your acting career, did you think that your cinema and your work would be accepted and appreciated so early on, and you would get such beautiful roles to play, such dynamic and versatile roles?
No, I was very sure about one thing, that I need to train myself. I believe that acting is a craft and you can learn it. And I was very fortunate enough to start it with Barry John, a teacher like Manoj Vajpayee, Nawazuddin Siddiqui, everyone he's a great teacher. 3 years I did a bit of theater, worked on my craft, and finally I landed Ashok Vatika and Delhi Crime. Both were around female-centric subjects, and they had something to say. Crime, we all know, such an unfortunate incident. So I was really fortunate. You manifest it, and if you're lucky, it takes off.
The kind of roles that you are choosing, it is very unique. It's very different. Usually, people go for comedy or romance or those kind of roles initially. They aspire for that. So did you manifest these kind of roles, and did you visualize that you wanted to do something different and stand out?
I want to do all kind of roles. My film Sangi, which is coming in theaters on 17 January, is a complete out and out comedy. But yes, it has always been my priority to be part of meaningful cinema. My father was part of social work for many years, and unfortunately passed away 3 years back. But he was very sure that what kind of films I should be part of. I always worked for him. It was my dream that my father should be proud of me. How you are shaped while growing up, it somehow makes your worldview, and you kind of manifest those kind of things. I come from a very small town in Jodhpur, it's a small village, so I have seen these kind of scenarios, and I'm well aware with these kind of subjects. So it's easier for me to connect with those kind of roles, and just search for those kind of subjects. And whenever I got a audition for such subjects, I was maybe able to connect with it easily in that sense. So, yeah, I mean, you can call it manifestation, but I was
your father is your guiding angel.
Yes, he is.
You have, since your initial days, worked on projects like Delhi Crime, Thar. How do you choose your roles?
At my stage, when you are looking for work, the only thing you can do is search for work and audition for it. And I've been lucky that I was approached for such parts. All I can do is just give a good audition and just wait it out. I mean, if the director likes me, and they'll pick me. Right now, I'm not at a stage where I can choose a project. The project will find me and will choose me. So I'm at that stage. Hopefully it gets better, but I want to do all kind of work. I have a film coming up, Sangi, with Sharif Hashmi by Sumit Kulkarni. It's a out and out comedy film. Also proud of that also.
Can you tell us more about it?
The film's teaser is already out. The film is about these friends in their midlife. One of them is left behind, and two friends are really doing well in life. He has a habit of asking for money and favor from everyone. So how these people deal with that person who is extremely insistent.
Right.
It's a mad gapper in that sense. Very
great. So when is it releasing? When do we get to see it?
It's releasing on 17 January 2025. So I have two releases. On 10th January, Santosh is coming out. And on 17 January, Sangi is coming out. So
amazing. This year, 2025, is an amazing year. It's just the start. I'm sure there are many more to go. Yes. And what was it like working with director Sandhya Suri and the rest of the cast in Santosh?
Very interesting, because she is someone who will get what she wants. The detailing you can see in the film. She has worked on this script for years, and it took many years to put together this project. And it's a very authentic project. When you watch the trailer, you'll get this sense of earthy, feel, how it was shot, all the actors in the film. Almost it's extremely real. And that was the requirement of the project. So it was very interesting to work with someone who is, that dedicated and sure about what they want. And of course, Shahana Goswami and Sunita Rajpur, they are like amazing actors. It was an honor to work with all of these people and really fortunate. Even the producers are really good, like Good Chaos, Mark Goodrich. He was producer of Oscar nominated film Triangle by Sadness. So these people know what they're doing, and
So when you went on the set on the first day, did you have any preparation before that?
I worked extensively on it. Like I have a lot of actors who are from Western UP, so I sat down with them. I tried to understand how there are certain dynamics in a society, and I'm playing a politician. How he looks at the world. Every world is different in that sense, right? And when you go to interior of the country, how people approach other female or other castes, there is a detailing. So I just to understand that. I got to work with a voice coach also. It helps, like when you put 2-3 weeks in a subject.
So you did your own homework and you build up that energy. You went into that character.
Yes.
Before the film began.
Yes. Work on yourself, prepare everything, and then you just go on set. If your preparation is right, they allow you to do what you want to, or otherwise they'll just Sandhya is amazing in that. She'll direct you in a very specific way what she wants. So yeah, I mean.
So do you think actors change when they become famous, or from where they start to where they go?
It is possible.
The behavior.
Yeah, because you get a lot of reactions which you are not used to, and everybody reacts differently to attention. So my focus has never been that. Like I'm very sure what I want to do. I want to be part of meaningful films, and I want to say something through my stories. So this is my way to contribute in that sense. I left MBBS for that. I was good at the studies.
Wow.
A lot of medical. And I used to read a lot of books, and I followed certain people, Nasruddin Shah, Irfan, many great actors in Hollywood also. They inspired me. And I always noticed that, these people are more than fame. Like, they are not just chasing fame. There are many ways to be famous. But when you're part of storytelling, when you're part of filmmaking, it changes lives. Like you touch people's lives, and, you have an opportunity to connect with people. There are a lot of people who come and sit in a dark room to watch you. In a way, that also helps them deal with their life. You have to understand that responsibility, that it is not just a random thing, like you doing it for attention. So
for those 2 hours or 3 hours, people forget themselves, what is happening in their life.
Look at Delhi Crime, the kind of impact that series have had.
Right.
Fortunate incident, and someone like Richie Mehta comes with utmost humility and honesty and presents this show with so much care and sensitivity. And I know, like, a lot of people reached out to me that like we watched it in one go, all the 8 episodes. They cried, felt the pain of the girl, and how the system works. And I was part of 12 Fail, which also is such a unique film. People have cried, in film halls. We just think that, oh, this person is successful and it's so easy for him, but it's not like that. I mean, life tough for everyone at every stage. So a film like that gives you hope, right? Life can be very mundane and boring, and just like, I don't want to do this, and my life is tough. And when you go and watch a film like that, and you just feel, oh my God, like there are people putting a lot of efforts to reach where they want. It excites me, these kind of things.
Any director that you would love to work in the future?
Oh, there are so many. I had very close chances of working with Vikramaditya Motwane, Anurag Kashyap. There's so many of them. Like, you just, I was very lucky that I got to work with Viduna Chopra, Richie Mehta, Sanjay Suri, Raj Singh Chaudhary. These are all dream directors. And I consider myself lucky that, I got a chance to work with them. Vishal Bhardwaj sir, I was very close to be part of one project with him. I hope I get like Anubhav Sinha, so many of them. It will be amazing to work with.
I wanted to ask you this, but you have already told me. If it was not acting, what you would have done, and I think you would have become a doctor and you would have still healed people.
Yeah, that, and my father was in in social work. So at some stage, I would have aspired to do that. It moves me. Like I come from a very small town, small village. We have a lot of challenges, many issues, still. So these kind of things have always had my attention, and at some stage I would want to do something about that, because that's what you can do. You do your best in life, and you come back and give back where you came from
to the society. Absolutely. So OTT or multiplex?
I feel both these platforms are very unique in what we get. I mean, films are films, like the reach they have, and in 2-3 hours you get to say a lot. That's amazing. But if you have to deal with a very extensive subject, then OTT is amazing. Like you get to delve into this world where you can explore 6 hours, 8 hours, 8 seasons, be with the same character. So for an actor also, it's very, very interesting. So both are very exciting, I feel. Like I'm part of Delhi Crime also, and I'm part of Santosh or 12th Fail or Athar.
What do you do when you're not acting? acting? How do you unwind yourself?
I have a lot of interests. Like I watch a lot of films, like very different things, sneakers, and I own a store. It's called Sneaker Cafe Mumbai, Bombay in Versova. Some of my time goes there. I also work with a lot of actors. We have a group where we practice regularly. We read scripts. I have my friends Raghav Agarwal, Deepak Sampath. These are like, my mentors also, my friends also. It's a lot of work, honestly. When you're not working, then also actor has to work a lot because you have to your craft, you have to
absorbing as well as observing.
Of course, that is there, and then you have to consistently read news, be part of society, because if you do not observe and not aware of what's happening around you, the chances of getting that work on a film is very tough. So I think it's a 24/7 job in that sense, and very exciting one. So yeah, I'm not complaining.
There's no complaint. I think all blessings, I would say, the kind of the start that it has happened, and I'm sure the whole year is there. So wishes for an amazing journey for you in this. So before ending, would you like to say a few words from your side to aspiring actors or people who are still struggling?
Acting or a creative field is something which is, it comes from within. Like if you're not convinced by it, then don't do it. And you cannot be in it for wrong reasons. Fame, money, they will come, but that cannot be a priority. If you are ready to go through hell in that sense, go through like tough times, you were just interested in this, like, okay, I want to explore these kind of stories and subjects, never ask for advice. If you need advice, don't do it. If you take somebody's advice and after a year you are like, my God, why am I doing this? Then it will be
more of a blame. Like, why did I take his advice?
Yes. And then once you have made up your mind, train. Like, come here, find good teachers, observe people, keep working on yourself, because it will be tough. We see like a lot of great actors these days, like, everybody's coming out with strong performances. So, and all of these people are coming through auditions in a very balanced way in that sense. So these are there. Like, I'm very hopeful.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing your story and your journey with me on my show. Okay. And I wish you a lot of success. I loved you in 12th Fail. Okay. And I loved your part there. I think I have cried almost like 2-3 times in the whole movie, even for Vikrant Messi. I don't know why he's not doing any more movies.
Oh, he won't go anywhere. Like,
yes, he shouldn't. Thank you so much, Sanjay, for joining in, and thank you for this, honor that you came in my show.
Thank you so much. Your questions and everything was so interesting, and I got to express myself.
I wish you a lot of success.
From dancing in the mirror to having that love for creativity, I started dreaming of becoming an actor.
The first film is always special, no matter what the result is.
A lot of preparation that goes behind every character that I play.
People usually see actors and actresses glamour, but actually it's a very, very tough job.
I love my work so much that it just reaches the universe.
Do we see you in Bollywood this year? Hi everyone, I am Mohsina Ahmed, host of Self Discovery Podcast. And today I am in conversation with Vedika, who's a celebrated actor and whose remarkable journey spans Tamil, Telugu, Kannada, Malayalam and Hindi cinema. Known for her versatility, she has received an Asia Vision Award, 2 Edition Awards and nominations for the Filmfare Awards South, cementing her identity as a dynamic performer.
Thank you.
A breakthrough role as a village girl, Angamma in Paradesi in 2013 earned widespread acclaim, with critics praising her spellbinding performance. Vedika's consistently evolving as an actor was equally evident in Kavya Thalaivan in 2014, where she delivered a nuanced performance inspired by theatre legend K.V. Sundarambal. From commercial successes like Kanchana 3 and Home Minister, she has consistently proven her ability to breathe life in diverse characters. Her journey from winning hearts in South Indian cinema to making her acting debut in Bollywood with The Body opposite Imran Hashmi represents the evolution of an artist who continues to push creative boundaries. With each role, she blends grace, authenticity, and emotional depth, making her a true cinematic watch.
2024 has been a stupendous year for Vedika, with releases like Fear and Razakar. Both of them are Telugu films. Petter Rap, a Tamil film. And going ahead with 2025, she has Gana, which is releasing. It is a Kannada film, which is her mother tongue. It is releasing in 2025. Vedika's palette is full of variety in terms of the roles she is playing and the roles she is accepting.
Hi Vedika, welcome to my show Self Discovery Podcast.
Hi, so nice to see you and thank you for the lovely introduction. It was so flattering.
You deserve it, every bit of it. So please tell us, where did it all begin?
Well, it started literally with just loving and having passion for dance and movies since childhood. I would love watching Madhuri Dixit ma'am and Sridevi ma'am's films, dancing to their songs. So just from dancing in the mirror, to having that love for creativity and art, I started dreaming of becoming an actor. It came really naturally to me since my childhood. Yeah, one thing I've never been like two-minded about is my work and what I wanted to do in life.
So initially, Vedika, you did not meet quite a success. It didn't work well in terms of the movies that you did. How did you keep going? As in, how was it? Did you think at any point that I'll give up and I'll just do something else probably?
Well, to be honest, I think I started my journey with a lot of ease because, I just one day happened to get a call for a Tamil film and they wanted to do a photo shoot. Within like an hour, I got the film. So I was always very grateful. Yes, initially I was only doing commercial films. It was not like my first film itself was a big blockbuster or anything. Started slow but steady. And over the years, I got to do a lot of amazing roles, especially after films like Kale and Pardesi. From my third, fourth film is when my true journey and it takes some time to get noticed. It's not like in your first film itself everybody is like able to establish that kind of presence. So my first film was basically more of an action film. I didn't have the kind of scope that my other following films had, but I'm still very grateful for that film because that was my debut. And it all started with that. And eventually, I really thought to myself, if I get to do one film, I'll consider myself lucky. But I have done close to 30 films now, and I have nothing but gratitude.
The first film is always special, no matter what the result is.
Yeah, you're so new that time when you have no idea what camera angles are. I used to take my own time to get ready. So I learned a lot of things, in my first film. And I didn't even know the language. My first dialogue was Yenna Pidikum, Yenna Pidikadu. So I didn't know Tamil at all. So I just learned it like Yenna Pidikum, Yenna Pidikadu, Yenna Pidikum, like a rhythm. And now to having learned Tamil and to be able to speak the language, I don't know how time flew and how I learned the languages like Telugu, Tamil. But it has been a wonderful experience, and especially thanks to the industry people for always supporting me and for offering me roles which further cemented my career growth and brought me even more opportunities.
You said about languages, okay? So your mother tongue is Kannada and you have done Tamil, Telugu movies. How do you emote the emotions, even though you did not know the language initially?
I have been very passionate about my work and I take it very seriously. So every dialogue I used to ask the meaning of, what is the exact meaning? Even little things I would like, ask too many questions. So that I guess helped me understand what the character wanted to say. Yeah, language I think is not a barrier if you're ready to invest time and willing to learn.
Pardesi was a landmark in terms of your career. How did you feel during that time? Did you expect that movie to be a turning point in your life?
Yeah, most definitely. Because I was working with Bala sir, who's a national award-winning director. He has made amazing films like Pitamagan, Setu, Nan Kadubul. So he's a legendary director whose films also got made in Hindi like Tere Naam. It was my dream to work with him. every actor who has worked with him has, from Vikram sir to Surya sir, everybody has got the appreciation that they deserve after Bala sir's films because his characters are so unique. They are very challenging. I knew from the beginning that this is going to be a turning point in my career, and I really focused on the role, and with his guidance, I did a role which was very transformative, not only physically but also I was playing a 17-year-old Tamil girl from the 1930s, from the pre-independent era in Tamil Nadu. That was, very challenging and very unique. So I knew that the role has that kind of scope, and considering I don't look anything like the character.
You looked every bit of it and you played it so well. Evoked all the emotions of that girl. Angamma.
Yes, Angamma. I played a hilarious 17-year-old girl, naughty girl who is like always bullying the hero. But yes, there is also a lot of emotional depth in the character towards the end of the film. So it had a lot, it had a very good graph to it and definitely a turning point. And I'm really thankful to Bala sir because even till date, whatever films I get for performance-oriented roles is all because I did Pardesi.
So your movie is releasing, Gana. Can you tell us a little bit about it? What is your role in it? What are the challenges? Did you face any kind of challenges while making and acting in this movie?
Gana is a Kannada film. It is about two characters who are communicating with each other, and there's a little bit of a time travel angle to it. Very, very interesting film and a very interesting role. Very different from the other roles that I did in recent times. So I play a school teacher who comes across a child and she adopts him, little boy, at her doorstep. And then from there, the story unfolds about how she connects with the character. And very two beautiful characters. The audience will definitely be in for a surprise. Yeah, so it is in my mother tongue. I had to speak Kannada, which I know pretty well. I speak at home. 2023 was a very busy year. So that's when I shot for Gana and I shot for Yakshini, Peter Rap with Prabhu Deva sir. I also shot for Razakar, another period film. And 2024 had like 4 releases of mine, including Razakar, Yakshini, which is produced by Bahubali filmmakers. It came on Hotstar. Then came Peter Rap and Fear. And the next release after that is like literally the 5th release in recent time. Is Gana. So I'm really looking forward to it. They were back-to-back releases and all of them are very different from each other. Like Razakar is a historical film, based on some facts before Hyderabad got independence, which many people don't know. Hyderabad got independence 1 year, 13 months later than the rest of India. That story is about those characters and those villagers who almost became freedom fighters for their land. Then came Yakshini, which was a socio-fantasy subject, very glamorous but performance-oriented roles, title role with Disney Hotstar. That was my OTT debut. Post that was Peter Rap with Prabhu Deva sir, which is a commercial entertainer and a lot of fun dancing with the legendary Prabhu Deva sir. It was quite a challenge. And then after that was Fear, a psychological thriller, which won almost 72 international awards.
Wow.
Yeah, in 38 film festivals. And now Gana. So if you place all my character looks from the recent releases, every character is different from each other. Every genre is different from each other. Now, starting 2025 with Gana I'm still on the happiness and sort of this, high of having 4 releases, and now this is my 5th, so I'm really looking forward.
Just tell me one thing, Vedika. People usually see actors and actresses with the perks and the glamour and all of that. But actually, it's a very, very tough job. Okay, so what are the challenges do you feel that, you have faced?
Everything looks ultra glamorous, so easy. Because, that's a perception, right? But perception is obviously different from reality. It is a lot of work. You have to resonate with the characters that you're playing and draw in the audience into the world of these characters and the stories of these characters. So I do not like to take my profession for granted, even if it's a character that has to look glamorous, like in Yakshini. She's glamorous, she's beautiful, but there are a lot of shades to the character. There is a lot of performance. There's a lot of responsibility that comes with a role where you're the protagonist and you are playing the title role. So a lot of preparation that goes behind every character that I play.
I know that that, looking beautiful is also a task. People don't realize.
Exactly. It's not easy to constantly will look good.
Yes.
And everything has to be prim and proper. So day in, day out, to kind of carry that look and to make sure you sleep well, you eat right, you work out, you maintain your skin. You have a great team of people working to make you look the way you do.
Right.
Your makeup artist, hairstylist, and the designer team and the direction team. Everybody's lot of people working to make your character come to life. Yeah, it's even looking good is not very simple.
Coming to looking good, how do you maintain your skin routine?
Well, I don't know. I've just been blessed, I suppose. Like with all credit goes to my mom. Because of her, I'm blessed. I do try to moisturize my skin every day. That is something. I have very dry skin. Like once I wash my face, I do not leave it till I moisturize. Moisturizing regularly, face wash once a day, maybe a toner a couple of times a week, drink a lot of water. The most important, I think, for even me, which I'm trying to learn, is to be at peace. I think to look beautiful, you need to get good rest. 8 hours for me is like ideal. I love 8 hours sleep, the way your skin feels, the way your face looks, the way you feel mentally.
Is there any kind of visualization or prayer, that ritual that you follow in your life to maintain that balance as well as seeking those projects?
Well, like I told you, since childhood, I've only dreamt of being on celluloid and working in films and loving what I do. I just feel that I love my work so much that it just reaches the universe. I'm blessed, and I'm showered with opportunities, longevity, and it's going steady. So I'm really grateful. But I never stop craving for more work, obviously. Yeah, as an artist, you always wanted to do better work, challenge yourself even more, work with all the people that you've desired to work with. So just that having the desire and that, even when I work on a film, I focus a lot on it. So I give it my everything. It's literally like worshipping what you do. That focus, that unwavering focus is something which I feel translates all the other projects that you land and other work that you get. And I guess people around you, working around you, see the determination that you have towards your character. And yeah, somehow something happens. I mean, as long as I just work religiously on my roles, I know that things will materialize.
And I think it's the energy builds up like that. You are wanting it, you are seeking it. At the same time, you're putting in the action and the hard work.
Exactly. That has to be there, because once there is action, there has to be a result. If you're not doing anything about it, now if I bag a project and I'm not really valuing it, then that's a recipe for disaster.
So, Vedika, how do you feel that Indian cinema now is foraying into global cinema, and how do you feel being in this stage of Indian cinema?
As you know, Indian cinema has always been appreciated since decades. Even films like Salaam Bombay and Lagan, Mother India have got international recognition. And now, there is a lot of recognition for Indian makers and Indian cinema even more. Even our makers are trying to reach the audiences and international audiences through film festivals and screenings all over the world. With films like Triple R, winning Academy Awards, to Indian talent being appreciated, like in Slumdog Millionaire, Rahman sir, he became a,
Absolutely.
icon.
Yes, absolutely.
Exactly. And even, documentaries like Elephant Whisperers, they all are gaining so much recognition. So it is a great time to be part of, Indian cinema now. And even in my film Fear, director Harita Gogineni, she sent the film. They are more aware. Filmmakers are more aware of how to reach international audiences now. It's not a rarity anymore to have your film screen at Cannes or to apply for international awards. A lot of filmmakers are aware of how to take their films. So my director of Fear, she sent our film to a lot of international film festivals. So we won about 72 awards in 38 international film festivals. I even had one of them ask me to be a jury on their next one. So it's a great time to be a part. Even audiences are seeking content from other countries. They want to learn more about the culture from India. And we have so much that we can showcase, about our country, about our culture through our movies. So it has always been like, a truly appreciated world over, but I think now is an even better time overall. Even films like Dangal, not only in, European markets, but like Japan, and Singapore and China. So all these, avenues are opening up, and it's a great time to be a part of this industry.
Do we see you in Bollywood this year?
Well, I hope to. I'm in talks for something, and hopefully, if I like the character, then I will be doing a Bollywood film as well. मैं बॉम्बे से हूँ तो मैं हिंदी में बात करती हूँ, so I can definitely have no problem talking.
You're anyways multilingual, so it's amazing. Okay, you worked with Bala sir, Prabhudeva sir. Any other director that you want to work and you want to, in near future?
List is endless. Mani Ratnam sir, and Shankar sir, Sanjay Leela Bhansali sir, Abhishek Chaubey, Anand Rai. So many amazing directors. Of course, the list is endless, but I would like to say that whatever is offered to me, I will try to choose the best out of that.
You have that demure beauty for Sanjay Leela Bhansali movie. So you have that. So if Sanjay sir is listening to this, I think he should cast you in his movies.
Maybe you should invite him on one of your interviews and then talk about it.
I know. Crossed, absolutely. Looking back, do you think that you could have done things differently, or do you think that it has been customized for you, the journey?
I think both, but yes, there are sometimes, when you look back in hindsight, you think you could have done things a little different. You could have taken more risks or not left that one film that you left. So that's okay, but you took many more other decisions that you were scared to take, many other challenges that you overcome. So you can appreciate that. You can appreciate how you persisted, how you took other decisions that you were scared to take, how you pushed yourself, how you worked very religiously on the work that you chose. The regrets can be sometimes endless, but you have to change your perspective towards things. And I'm just grateful that I got to do what I love.
So define in one word your journey so far.
Full of persistence and never giving up.
I would just like to tell you that, you're amazing in terms of what roles you're choosing and the journey that you are in. And you have this never giving up attitude. It's a marathon, I'm going to run it. Okay.
Yes.
So it's a sprint, so I'll not give up. I have seen your journey and I have seen that, how you started and what you have done. Okay. And what you're doing right now. It's like all your hard work is giving you results. And I'm sure, there are many more beautiful years and movies that you will be doing. So before I end this, I'd just like to ask you one thing. Are there any upcoming projects that are coming up that you're working on after Ghana?
There is a film called Mahal in Tamil that I'm shooting for. Then there is another film called Gajana. And of course, Ghana is releasing. And there is another film which is yet to come out. It's called Jungle in Tamil. It's a mix of fantasy, horror, family entertainer, and an adventure film. So 2025 is looking, exciting. And I'm sure I'm going to do a few more interesting characters, and I'm in the process of signing a few more. So hopefully, we all have to one day at a time, keep going after our dreams.
All the very best for 2025 and all those years.
I love chatting with you because, it's so refreshing. It just felt like a conversation, literally. It didn't feel like an interview. Thank you so much. I feel so flattered that you actually took so much time out of your schedule to read about what I have done and to discuss it in such in-depth manner. It just made me feel very special. So thank you for spending the time to, go through and appreciate what I have done. And I hope to keep doing better work in the future. And I'm sure you also can, the way you were talking, I could understand that you also probably resonate and believe never to give up. I could sense that even though we are not together. I'm looking forward to doing another podcast with you very soon.
Thank you so much for understanding my show, in such a beautiful way. Okay, so thank you so much for joining in.
मैंने इसको सेलेक्ट नहीं किया था, इस रोल ने मुझे सेलेक्ट किया था।
आप ऑडियंस को डिसअपॉइंट करते अगर आप स्क्रीन पे नहीं आते तो?
आपके अंदर अगर जुनून की हद तक इस प्रोफेशन के लिए प्यार नहीं है तो आप इस इंडस्ट्री में मत आइए।
The role of JK in Family Man took you from somewhere to everywhere.
जब आपका दौर बुरा चल रहा होता है तो आपको एक वो रहता है कि यार ये इतना अच्छा है कि ये मेरे साथ में होने नहीं वाला है.
So when you got Jab Tak Hai Jaan, what was the feeling? Could you accept it? Hi everyone, I'm Mohsin Ahmed. Welcome to Self Discovery Podcast. Today we have an absolute gem from the world of Indian entertainment joining us. The incomparable Sharib Hashmi. If you have watched The Family Man, you already know the magic this man brings to the screen as JK. A performance that not only won hearts but also earned him the prestigious Filmfare OTT Award for Best Supporting Role.
Best Actor in a Supporting Role in a Drama Series Male goes to
But Sharib is more than just one memorable role. He is a rare breed of artist who excels in multiple creative domains.
अगर दोस्तों के बीच में अगर इंटरेस्ट आ गया ना भाभी, तो दोस्ती में इंटरेस्ट खत्म हो जाता है.
क्या?
अच्छी बात बोली है.
An accomplished actor, a skilled writer, a visionary producer and a thoughtful director. What makes him truly special is his extraordinary ability to find that sweet spot between humor and heart.
I'll have a pasta.
Sure, sir. Which one?
Aglio, olio.
Alio olio, sir. Anything to drink, sir?
पर जब भी तेरा ये पागलपन दूर हो जाए ना तो वापस आ जाइए भाई. दोनों भाई मिलके पूरे लंदन में रेस्टोरेंट खोल देंगे.
तो पहले टैक्स की छोड़ी बनकर खबीस.
His comic timing is nothing short of phenomenal, delivered with such natural ease that it makes you forget you're watching an actor at work. What I particularly admire about Sharib is how he brings authenticity to every character he portrays. Whether he's making you laugh with his impeccable wit and comic timing or moving you with a powerful dramatic scene, there's always truth in his performance. Today we are privileged and honored to have with us a man who doesn't just wear multiple hats in the entertainment industry, he wears them all with distinction and brings his unique creative vision to every project he touches. Welcome Sharib, how are you?
Thank you so much for such a beautiful introduction. Thank you, Mohsina.
Thank you so much for coming to our show, and I'm sure that there's a lot that you would tell us which will really help us in our understanding cinema as well as your work that you're doing. तो आप बताइए कि आपको ये पहले कब पता चला कि आप लोगों को एंटरटेन कर सकते हैं और आपने उसको करियर बनाने की सोची?
ये एक्चुअली पता तो मुझे बचपन से मुझे था कि मुझे बनना है कुछ, मतलब एक्टिंग करनी है, लेकिन उसे डिसाइड करने में
मैंने बहुत टाइम ले लिया. मतलब आई स्टार्टेड परस्यूइंग एक्टिंग एज अ प्रोफेशन व्हेन आई वाज ऑलमोस्ट 33. तो उस वक्त मुझे मतलब आई फाउंड माई ट्रू कॉलिंग कि हाँ दिस इज़ वॉट आई रियली वॉन्ट टू डू एंड दिस इज़ वॉट आई एम मेड फॉर. तो वो बहुत लेट रियलाइजेशन हुआ लाइफ में. पता था लेकिन उसको फॉलो करने के लिए हिम्मत नहीं थी और थोड़ा कॉन्फिडेंस नहीं था. फॉर अ वेरी लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम आई हैड अ लाइक ह्यूज कॉम्प्लेक्स रिगार्डिंग माई हाइट, माई लुक्स. तो उस वजह से मैं कभी ये कर नहीं पाया कि यार मुझे एक्टिंग में मेरा कुछ होगा नहीं. सो आई स्टार्टेड एज एन असिस्टेंट डायरेक्टर, देन आई शिफ्टेड टू राइटिंग. और बहुत टाइम के बाद मैंने डिसाइड किया कि यार एक बार एक्टिंग को मौका देना पड़ेगा, और अगर अभी नहीं दिया तो फिर लेट हो जाएगा.
आप ऑडियंस को डिसअपॉइंट करते अगर आप स्क्रीन पे नहीं आते तो you would have really made us disappointed because the roles that you play is so authentic. It connects with the audience instantly. आपको ये किसी ने पहले बोला कि आप एक्टिंग में जाओ? Is there an inspiration या आपने खुद डिसाइड किया नहीं I'll take the plunge and I'll go ahead and I'll audition?
मैं एक्चुअली जब मैं लिख रहा था तो उसमें थोड़ा एक्टिंग मेरे लाइफ में वो वहाँ से आना शुरू हो गई थी. बैकडोर एंट्री मारी एक्टिंग ने मेरी लाइफ में. तो मैं MTV में एज ए राइटर काम करता था. तो वहाँ पर मैं जब स्क्रिप्ट सुनाता था तो हम वहाँ पे फ़नी स्केच कॉमेडीज़ और वो सब लिखा करते थे. तो जब मैं नरेट करता था तो वो कहते थे यार ये कैरेक्टर तू कर ले. तो वो वैसे मैं मतलब स्पूफी शोज़ वो सब में मैं एक्टिंग करने लगा. बट आई यूज़ टू इन्जॉय बीइंग इन फ्रंट ऑफ द कैमरा अ लॉट. और मुझे ऐसा लगता था आज मेरी एक एक्स्ट्रा छुट्टी है सैटरडे संडे के अलावा. और मैंने बहुत इन्जॉय करना शुरू किया. बट तभी भी ऐसा कोई दूर दूर तक इरादा नहीं था कि एक्टिंग करनी. लेकिन हाँ, एक्टिंग ऐसे थोड़ी थोड़ी होती रही लाइफ में. मैं MTV बकरा एक काफ़ी पॉपुलर शो था MTV का, जिसमें मैंने काफ़ी एपिसोड्स किए, जिसने मुझे कॉन्फिडेंस दिया कि हाँ मुझे एक्टिंग आती है। डिसाइड किया कि अब मुझे एक्टिंग करनी है। 2008 दिसंबर में आई क्विट माई जॉब और तब से फिर ऑडिशंस देने शुरू किए लेफ़्ट राइट एंड सेंटर।
तो आपने जॉब जब क्विट किया तब आपने ये सोचा कि एम आई डूइंग द राइट थिंग, मतलब स्ट्रगल हुई उस टाइम पे आपकी?
बहुत ज़्यादा हुई, मतलब वो तो उस वक्त तो जोश में डिसीजन ले लिया था, लेकिन अगले 3 साल मेरे लिए बहुत डिफ़िकल्ट गए क्योंकि मैं अकेले नहीं पूरी फैमिली के साथ स्ट्रगल करने निकला था। और मतलब मुझे लगा था कि यार मैं तो इतना टैलेंटेड हूँ, अभी 4 ऑडिशन दूंगा, 8 काम मिलेंगे और 6 महीने की सेविंग्स तो है ही, और उसके अंदर तो मैं मतलब पता नहीं कहाँ से कहाँ पहुँच जाऊँगा। लेकिन वैसा हुआ नहीं, मतलब आई केप्ट गिविंग ऑडिशंस एंड आई केप्ट गेटिंग रिजेक्शंस। और वो डेली बेसिस पे जब आपको इतने सारे नो और रिजेक्शंस जब मिलते हैं तो मतलब इट कैन टेक अ टोल ऑन योर mental being also. Financially I was completely broken. The next few years were very bad for me. लेकिन हाँ, मैं उन 3 सालों में फिर भी खुश इसलिए था क्योंकि आई वॉज ऑडिशनिंग और मुझे ऑडिशन करने में बहुत मज़ा आता था। मेरे लिए तो मतलब जब मुझे कोई ऑडिशन का कॉल आता था मुझे लगता था एक काम आया है। 3 साल तक लेकिन इतनी हालत बुरी हो गई थी कि मुझे फिर से एक नौकरी करनी पड़ी। बट उस नौकरी में 3 महीने हुए थे कि मुझे शानू शर्मा के यहाँ से फ़ोन आया, ये जब तक है जान के ऑडिशन के लिए। और उन्होंने मुझे जब तक है जान के लिए टेस्ट किया और उसी दौरान फिल्मिस्तान पर हम काम कर रहे थे, नितिन कक्कर और मैं, वो लिख रहे थे और मैं उसमें उनको हेल्प कर रहा था। तो नितिन को भी एक प्रोड्यूसर मिल गए और उन्होंने मुझे मेन लीड के लिए ऑडिशन करने को कहा, मैं उसमें भी सेलेक्ट हो गया। तो ऐसे मतलब ये दोनों चीज़ें हुई और फिर ऊपर वाले की दया से मतलब एक मेरा करियर टेक ऑफ।
सो व्हेन यू गॉट जब तक है जान, व्हाट वाज द फीलिंग? कुड यू डाइजेस्ट इट, एक्सेप्ट इट, और वर यू लाइक अवेयर कि हो गया है अब ये?
जब तक है जान का जब मुझे ऑडिशन आया था तब मैं नौकरी पर था और उस वक्त बहुत सारे राउंड्स ऑफ ऑडिशंस हुए थे, कुछ 5 राउंड्स ऑफ ऑडिशंस हुए और उसके बाद में मुझे रिजेक्ट कर दिया गया था, किसी और को कास्ट कर लिया था। तो और मैंने कहा कि यार अब इतना हो चुका है, हो सकता है कि मतलब मैंने उसको एक्सेप्ट कर लिया था और नौकरी चल ही रही थी। तभी एक दिन मुझे दोबारा फ़ोन आया YRF से और इस बार मुझे यश जी के जो उस वक्त असिस्टेंट थे अक्षत कपिल, उन्होंने मुझे कॉल किया और उन्होंने बोला कि एक बार और ऑडिशन के लिए आ जाओ। तो मैं इस बार YRF के ऑफिस गया और वहाँ पर ऑडिशन दिया। ऑडिशन देके ऑफिस अपने पहुँचा ही था कि आधे घंटे में फ़ोन आया कि हम परसों से शूट कर रहे हैं, आप सेलेक्ट हो गए हैं इस रोल के लिए। और तो मेरे मतलब पैरों तले तब ज़मीन खिसकी कि यार ये तो हो रहा है कि यश जी डायरेक्ट करने वाले हैं, शाहरुख खान साहब हैं, कटरीना कैफ है, अनुष्का शर्मा है। और मतलब मेरे लिए तो बहुत पूरा एक ड्रीम कम ट्रू था ये, ऐसा सपना जो मतलब मैंने सच में देखा था कि मैं इनके साथ में काम कर रहा हूँ और इनके साथ बातें कर रहा हूँ और सडनली आई वाज ऑन द सेट्स ऑफ जब तक है जान, जहाँ पर एक तरफ यश जी खड़े हैं अपने असिस्टेंट्स को कुछ इंस्ट्रक्शंस दे रहे हैं, तो एक तरफ आदित्य चोपड़ा साहब हैं वो किसी के साथ कुछ बात कर रहे हैं, एक तरफ मनीष मल्होत्रा जी, अनिल मेहता जी के साथ बात कर रहे हैं जो हम DOP हैं इतने बड़े। तो वो सब देख के तो मैं मतलब मुझको तो यकीन ही नहीं हो रहा था कि मैं वहाँ पर मौजूद हूँ फिजिकली। इट वाज ऑल वेरी सररियल फॉर मी एंड अभी भी मुझे लगता है कि वो मेरे साथ सच में हुआ था कि सपना ही था।
बट your role was also so beautiful in that movie. It
Thank
was you were working with such legends. At the same time, आपका रोल भी काफी अच्छा था उसमें, काफी लंबा भी था, and it was very beautiful.
तो इतने सारे लोगों के साथ काम करने का मौका और वो भी इतना अच्छा रोल।
Yes.
मतलब आज भी मुझे काफ़ी लोग जैन के लिए जब DM करते हैं या मैसेज करते हैं या प्रेस करते हैं तो मुझे बहुत खुशी होती है और ऐसा लगता है कि मतलब मेहनत वसूल हुई।
Absolutely. It is a blessing, and I'm sure there are more blessings on your way. So tell me one thing. You took up the role of JK. It's an iconic role. It took you from somewhere to everywhere. तो आपको वो रोल जब आप कर रहे थे या आपने सिलेक्ट किया था, आपको लगा था कि ऐसे आइकॉनिक बन जाएगा and it will be so popular?
एक तो मैंने इसको सेलेक्ट नहीं किया था, इस रोल ने मुझे सेलेक्ट किया था। मैंने ये फिल्मिस्तान और जब तक है जान के बाद एक अगेन आई सॉ रफ पैच इन माय करियर। तो उस दौरान फिर से मतलब मुझे काम नहीं मिल रहा था और फिर से ऑडिशंस के चक्कर शुरू हो गए थे। फिर मुझे एक दिन जब मुकेश छाबड़ा साहब के यहाँ से, उनके ऑफिस से जब कॉल आया फैमिली मैन के ऑडिशन के लिए, तो जब मैं वहाँ गया, बहुत ही चीज़ें फिर से मुझे लग रहा था कि यार ये तो बहुत ही बड़ी चीज़ है। अमेज़ॉन प्राइम का शो है, राज एंड डीके डायरेक्ट कर रहे हैं, मनोज बाजपेयी साहब मेन लीड कर रहे हैं, और मेरा एक बहुत ही प्यारा कैरेक्टर है। तो और जब मैं ऑडिशन देकर निकला तो मुझे एक बहुत एक सेटिस्फैक्शन था उस दिन, क्योंकि जब आप कुछ अच्छा करते हैं तो आपको लगता है कि हाँ यार आज तो मतलब आई नेल्ड इट इन दी ऑडिशंस। तो वो मुझे एक फीलिंग थी, और एक पता नहीं एक इंट्यूशन था, बहुत स्ट्रॉन्ग इंट्यूशन था कि अगर ये चीज़ हो जाती है तो ज़िंदगी में एक बदलाव आ सकता है। बट चीज़ें उस वक्त इतनी बुरी चल रही थी कि अच्छे से अच्छे प्रोजेक्ट्स में, मतलब मैं यहाँ तक पहुँच के एकदम नज़दीक पहुँच के वो चीज़ें नहीं होती थी। एकदम मैं जितना एक्साइटेड था उतना ही एक जो, क्योंकि एक जब आपका दौर बुरा चल रहा होता है तो आपको एक वो रहता है कि यार ये इतना अच्छा है कि ये मेरे साथ में होने नहीं वाला है। तो वो चीज़ भी दिमाग में घूम रही थी। बट थैंकफुली हफ्ते 10 दिन बाद मुझे कॉल आया राजन डीके के ऑफिस से, और डीके साहब से मेरी मुलाकात हुई और मुझे उन्होंने जेके के लिए चुना। और मैं मतलब आई कांट थैंक देम इनफ फॉर गिविंग मी जेके, बिकॉज इट चेंज्ड माय लाइफ कम्प्लीटली। फैमिली मैन के बाद असुर आया, असुर के बाद स्कैम आया, स्कैम के बाद ग्रेट इंडियन मर्डर, और तो चीज़ें जो शुरू हुई, बट लेकिन जो सबसे पहला जो लोगों ने मतलब वो किया वो फैमिली मैन से ही शुरू हुआ।
Beautifully concluded. Beautiful, actually. बहुत ज़्यादा उम्दा. Sharif ji, thank you so much for joining us and sharing your beautiful journey. All the very best for your upcoming movies, as well as congratulations for Sangi. I'm sure the moment it reaches OTT, it will, create fire amongst all hearts.
थैंक यू सो मच मोहसिना। मैं तो मतलब चाह रहा था कि कब से हम मतलब करें। मैंने पॉडकास्ट देखे, मुझे बहुत पसंद आए थे, और आई रियली वांटेड टू हैव दिस कॉन्वर्सेशन विद यू, एंड फाइनली आई एम ग्लैड दैट आज वो मुमकिन हो पाया। अगर हम आमने सामने होते तो मुझे ज़्यादा खुशी होती।
बट आई रियली एंजॉयड द पॉडकास्ट। थैंक यू वेरी मच।
सो आई चैलेंज माई सेल्फ टू राइट सच अ स्टोरी which should be equally challenging enough for me to write it and should surpass the success of the earlier film.
You are made for storytelling and direction.
It is already written in our scriptures, in our Vedas. I just wanted to turn the pages and I wanted the audience to read it.
One doesn't write a story, the story finds you.
With the advent of OTT, the market has drastically changed its shape.
आप aspiring filmmakers को क्या advice करेंगे अभी? Hi everyone, I'm Mohsina Ahmed, co-founder of Self Discovery, and today we have with us Mr. Amit Rai, a name synonymous with fearless storytelling and societal impact, who has carved a unique niche for himself in Indian and global cinema. As the celebrated director of the 2023 blockbuster OMG2, Amit ji has successfully tackled sensitive subjects, presenting them through an educational and thought-provoking lens. His courage to present these topics while maintaining a simplistic, at the same time entertaining narrative has earned him both critical and audience acclaim. Amit ji's journey in filmmaking began with remarkable achievements. His debut directorial venture, Road to Sangam, won the prestigious Golapudi Srinivas Award in 2010. He worked on the 2009 Marathi film Tingya, which received widespread critical acclaim and won numerous national and international awards. Amit ji directed the much anticipated sequel to the 2012 cult classic OMG, Oh My God. The film released in 2023 was not just a cinematic spectacle but also a cultural conversation starter blending humor, drama and societal education seamlessly. It resonated deeply with audiences and critics alike.
ईश्वर है या नहीं, इसका प्रमाण इंसान आस्तिक या नास्तिक होकर दे सकता है, पर भगवान अपने बनाए हुए बंदों में कभी भेद नहीं करता। फिर चाहे वो नास्तिक कांजीलाल मेहता हो या फिर आस्तिक कांति शरण मुदगल।
Becoming a major box office success and earning Amit Rai the 69th Filmfare Award for the Best Story in 2024. Welcome Amit ji. Thank you for being on my show.
Thank you for this wonderful introduction.
All right. So अमित जी, आपको कब रियलाइज हुआ कि आप सिनेमा के लिए बने हैं and you are made for storytelling and direction? What was that one tipping point in your life?
I don't know that. I can't precisely say that this was the time when I decided I should become a filmmaker. The journey started very vaguely when my father bought a VCR. Somebody has gifted him the VCR, national VCR, and we started a video rental business. And during the whole process, me and my brother, they both used to carry that TV and VCR at various places. Where the place we used to live in Ulhasnagar, the shanty town. So that must have inspired me, the filmmakers like Bimal Roy, Rishikesh Mukherjee, and Satyajit Ray.
Wow.
And those films had a huge impact on my life. They were telling actually our stories, the middle class and the lower middle class. My father was a film mill worker. So I was intrigued by the idea of this whole socialistic idea and the filmmakers were presenting in their films. So that must be the triggering point that I wanted to tell the story. I wanted to be in this field, this magical field. I don't know, I was still discovering that what it could have been that right moment where I decided to be a filmmaker. But definitely there was a call from destiny that उसने मेरी उंगली पकड़ी और मुझे कहा कि इस तरफ चलना है और मैं उसकी उंगली पकड़ के चलता है.
Wow. So आपने OMG2 बनाया. That is like two sensitive topics hemmed in one movie. Okay, both of them are taboos. People don't even try to touch them. First is religious, faith, and belief system, and the other one is sexual education. Okay, people don't talk about it. They shy away from it. You have done it so amazingly well. It has been well received by the audience. आपको बनाते वक्त डर लगा कि अगर ये दोनों तरफ जा सकता है, मतलब मैं कर नहीं पाऊंगा, ऐसे आपको लगा कभी भी when you were telling this?
The integrity and the honesty in the subject was at the driving seat. That could have given me that courage. I don't take myself as that courageous that the people are claiming me to be, but I think it was just an honesty with the subject. I decided to make it in a very proper way. I never wanted to make it as a titillating or a heavily commercialized aspect of filmmaking, that they make a commercial film with 3-4 songs and put every masala into it. But मेरे को ये पता था मुझे कि इसको ईमानदारी से रिसीव करेंगी ऑडियंस तभी जब मैं ईमानदारी से करूँ. I just tried to be honest with the subject, and I have been quoting this at various platforms. I still want to say this, that there is nothing new which I have said, which I have narrated in the film. It is already written in our scriptures, in our Vedas. I just wanted to turn the pages and I wanted the audience to read it. Everything is there written in the pages, and you can always go back and refer to those pages. मैं तो बहुत कम बोल रहा हूँ, अगर मैं बोलने लगूँगा तो तुमको लगेगा कि ये झूठ कह रहा है. Like the way when I told Pankaj Tripathi that you are going to say this dialogue, कि स्त्री की योनि में वीर्य का वो एक नए जीवन को जन्म देता है, तो it's all was so bold. He asked me that, could you please give me that book where it is written? So unless and until I don't read that, I'm not going to say these dialogue, because I will be the face of the film.
Right.
So he was also that, what you can say, cautious to take that film on his shoulder before delivering these lines. So we gave him the book, he read those books, and still censor wanted to delete those lines which is already there in the Vedas. So problem actually जो इतने सारे हम पर आक्रमण हुए हैं, कल्चरली भी, सोशली, इकोनॉमिकली, हर तरह से जो आक्रमण हुआ है, और हमारी सभ्यता हर साल बदलती रही, हर दशक में बदलती रही, हर दिन बदलती रही है. जो इसका करंट रूप है ना, ये बहुत मिला जुला रूप है. सो ब्रिटिशर्स केम, मुगल्स केम, हमारा खुद का आइडेंटिटी वो गायब हो गया. इसीलिए जब हम खुद की आइडेंटिटी की बात कर रहे हैं तो लोगों को लग रहा है ये कुछ नई बात कर रहे हैं. एक्चुअली ये सब कुछ है. हम वो सभ्यता है जिन्होंने काम का भी एक देव रखा है, उसका एक मंदिर है कचुरा. आप जाके देखाओ, उसमें जो भी आपको चाहिए वो दुनिया का हर वो नॉलेज है जो पत्थरों में खुदा हुआ है. कार्बन डेटिंग करो, पता करो किसने बनाया है, और उसकी पूजा हो रही थी, अपने आप आपको पता चल जाएगा. अगर मैं कुछ नया कर रहा होता तो मैं डरा हुआ होता कि हाँ ये एक्सपेरिमेंट कर रहे हैं, लोग एक्सेप्ट करेंगे कि नहीं करेंगे. But it was already there. I just wanted to divert the attention of an audience through a commercial film towards the script. So that's how it worked.
आपने OMG was a cult movie. आपको पता है OMG was released in 2012. It was a cult movie. आपको बनाते वक्त ऐसे लगा थोड़ा सा responsibility और pressure feel हुआ कि मैं OMG 2 direct कर रहा हूँ, तो how it's gonna go? Did you feel any kind of pressure or responsibility in your mind?
I first decided to write the story, and my only intention behind writing the story was I decided to draw a much thicker line and a bigger line than the earlier one. तो वो चैलेंज मैंने खुद को ही दे रखा था कि पिछले वाले से बड़ी खींचनी है लाइन, तो वो लाइन खींचने के चक्कर में ये सब हुआ है. अगर वो नहीं होती ना तो फिर मैं इतना चैलेंज लेता नहीं. कुछ एक जैसे एक रिकॉर्ड तोड़ना होता है तो पहले आप देख लेते हैं कि इसने 100 रन बनाने का रिकॉर्ड बनाया तो अभी 112 रन, किसी ने 134 बनाया तो 138 रन. दैट्स हाउ यू पुश योरसेल्फ टू क्रॉस दैट लिमिट. So I challenged myself to write such a story which should be equally challenging enough for me to write it and should surpass the success of the earlier film.
Wow,
that was the reason.
आपने already अपना ही benchmark ज़्यादा कर दिया so that you reach that, right? So आपने अक्षय कुमार के साथ काम किया है, आपने पंकज त्रिपाठी के साथ काम किया है, दोनों ही legends हैं Indian movie industry में. Can you tell me one thing of both of them which you really loved working with them?
Actually, I would like to quote 4 legends. There were 4 legends in the film.
Right.
Pawan Malhotra as a judge, Yami Gautam as the prosecutor, and then Pankaj Tripathi, and of course the great superstar Akshay Kumar. Now, ऐसे कोई एक बात कह के उनकी पूरी कहानी बोली नहीं जा सकती, लेकिन कोई एक वाकया मैं कह सकता हूँ जो जिससे आपको लगे कि हाँ यार ये इसीलिए बड़े लोग. जैसे यामी गौतम के बारे में पहले भी कह चुका हूँ, फिर से कह सकता हूँ कि जब उन्होंने कहानी सुनी थी तो ऐसा उन्होंने पहले कभी किया. शी इज अ फ्रंट बेंचर, वो स्टार है, वो हीरोइन का रोल प्ले करती है. इस फिल्म में कोई हीरो नहीं है, उन्होंने विलन जैसा प्ले करना है रोल, और वो पढ़ी लिखी औरत है, उसको बिल्कुल उल्टा काम करना है. शी इज नॉट सपोर्टिंग सेक्स एजुकेशन, शी इज अगेंस्ट दैट, एंड शी इज रिप्रेजेंटिंग द स्कूल हु हैज थ्रोन आउट द बॉय फ्रॉम द स्कूल. So that is a villainous shade character.
Yeah.
But she told me that she was playing. Yeah, but she told me that I'm going to take this risk with my career, not because of the role we have written, but for the sake of society, for this film. ये फिल्म हम चारों से बड़ी है, हम सबसे बड़ी है, तो इसके लिए मैं ये रोल करने को तैयार हूँ. जो उन्होंने एक ही बार में हाँ कह दिया पढ़ते. पवन मल्होत्रा has never played a judge in his whole life. He has played Yaqub Menon, Salim Langde, the terrorist, and everybody. In a way, he played a coach for Bhag Milkha Bhag, various other roles which he has played. For the first time, he was going to sit on a chair and was to deliver the lines. But what he did, he waited for a whole day, every day. He used to see the whole shooting, what other actors have done. And then he used to shoot Pawan Malhotra. But he used to wait for that 10 to 12 hours to see what has happened. And then he used to shoot him. So the very first shot, the master shot, जिसमें वो भी होते थे, बाकी सब भी होते थे, वो हम लोग शूट कर लेते थे. उसके बाद हम एक्टर्स को शूट करना शुरू करते थे, उस तरफ का हम बाद में करते थे. लेकिन तब तक वो रुकते थे. That much patience he had every day. जब सब चले जाते थे, हम सिर्फ उनको जज बना के शूट करते. तो कोई भी एक्टर होता बोलता यार सर मेरा तो पहले कर दो, मेरा जरा सा मैं निकल जाऊंगा, बाकी आप करते रहो. कभी भी उन्होंने कोई भी शिकायत नहीं. पंकज त्रिपाठी हर दिन टाइम पे आना है, बुलाओ, 2 टेक, ओके टेक, कभी ये नहीं कि हाँ ये खराब लग रहा है. कई बार ऐसा हुआ है कि उन्होंने परफॉर्म किया वहीं पे और वहीं ऑडियंस ने पीछे ताली बजाना भी शुरू कर दिया, जो कि फिल्म में नहीं चाहिए. पहले दिन जो पहला शॉट दिया था उन्होंने और जो डायलॉग बोला तो पीछे लोगों ने ताली बजाना शुरू कर दिया. ताली क्यों बजा रहे आप लोग? बोला इतनी अच्छी बात कही. बोला अरे नहीं आप लोग विलन हो, अभी क्लाइमेक्स में आप लोग ताली बजाओगे. पहले सोसाइटी नहीं एक्सेप्ट करती रहती है इसको, तो आप बोला नहीं ये कितना अच्छा बात कर रहा है. अरे बोला वो एक्टर बात कर रहा है, भाई ताली मत बजाओ, कोई भी ताली मत बजाओ और चेहरे पे मुस्कान मत लाओ. तो ऑडियंस यूज्ड टू वेट कि जब भी पंकज जी काम करने आएंगे, दे यूज्ड टू बिकॉज़ व्हेन यूज्ड टू शूट हिम इन अ सोलो शॉट और अ क्लोज शॉट, they used to stand, all these 300-400 people, they used to stand there and look at him, how he used to perform. So that was a memorable moment. And every time Pankaj used to deliver those lines, I came to know at that point of time that this thing is going to, because मैंने एक लाइनें लिखी थी सिर्फ, उसमें आत्मा और जान एक्टर ने डाल दी. वो जब भी बात करते थे तो ऐसा लगता था कि हाँ यार ये वही बाप है जिसके बेटे को स्कूल से. नाउ कमिंग बैक टू अक्षय कुमार, मतलब जीवन में अगर आपको सक्सेसफुल बनना है तो कोई भी एक चीज आप सीख लो, वो आपको कामयाबी की शिखर पे पहुंचा देगी. उनके पास बहुत सारी ऐसी क्वालिटीज हैं क्योंकि वो पहले व्यक्ति थे जिन्होंने, आई वेंट टू सो मेनी प्रोडक्शन हाउसेस फॉर दिस फिल्म एंड नोबडी वाज रेडी टू मेक दिस फिल्म. दे हैड देयर ओन व्यूज ऑन इट but only person who heard the narration for 15 minutes and he decided, I'm making this film. So he had that vision that it is going to change the society. I never thought of him taking that decision in 15 minutes. जो लास्ट आदमी मैं सोचता वो पहला आदमी था जिसने तय किया और he decided to make the film and he लास्ट तक सपोर्ट में खड़े रहे कि नहीं हम करेंगे ये फिल्म. लास्ट में उन्होंने ये भी कहा सेंसर मार दे खत्म कर दे फिल्म को, लेकिन फिल्म जैसी भी जाएगी वो फिल्म असर लाएगी. अगर फिल्म फ्लॉप भी होती है, पैसे नहीं भी कमाएगी तो भी मेरे पैसे डूब गए तो भी चलेगा, मुझे कोई प्रॉब्लम. सो ही वाज रेडी टू सैक्रिफाइस एवरीथिंग फॉर द सेक ऑफ द फिल्म. आई थिंक नॉट एज अ स्टार अक्षय कुमार, आई थिंक एज अ फादर अक्षय कुमार ही मस्ट हैव टेकन डिसीजन एज अ फादर अक्षय, बिकॉज उनके पास 2 बच्चे हैं, दोनों भी युवा हैं, तो मुझे लगता है उन बच्चों के लिए उन्होंने की होगी. तो बाकी सारे बच्चों ने अपना बच्चा देखा होगा, इसके लिए उन्होंने तय किया कि मैं ये फिल्म करूं.
ब्यूटिफुली सेड. अब मैं आपको एक बात पूछना चाहती हूँ. आपने एक किसी इंटरव्यू में बोला था कि one doesn't write a story, the story finds you. ये
that's the famous line which I have written that. नहीं, ये मैं I strongly believe in this line. That's why I quote it everywhere. That you never write anything. Everything is there in this space. सब कुछ. अभी कहानी है इस हवा में, एक कहानी उड़ रही है, क्योंकि हम तो यहाँ बैठ के देख रहे हैं ना. जब हम उधर बैठ के देखेंगे कहानी बनकर तो आपको पता चलेगा सब लोग यहाँ घूम रहे हैं रास्ते में, और कहानी चुनती है आप. अगर आपको रास्ते पे बारात जा रही है और आपको दूल्हा नजर नहीं आ रहा, आपको वो नीचे इस पे घोड़ी बैठी है जो चुपचाप चल रही है, चेहरा जिसका उतरा हुआ है, आपको अगर वो नजर आ रही है तो वो कहानी आपको ढूंढ रही है, बाकी किसी को नजर नहीं आ रही होगी. अगर बारात में चलते हुए आपको वो बाप नजर आ रहा है जो पीछे तैयार होके आया है बेटी के, लेकिन पूरे टाइम उसके चेहरे पे टेंशन है कि अब कैसे सब निपट जाए, शादी हो जाए बेटी की, अगर वो चिंता आपको नजर आ रही है तो उस लड़की की और बाप की कहानी आपको ढूंढ रही है, वो आपको खुद ही चिपक जाएगी. इसीलिए जो कहानी कहता है ना, वो कहानी उसको ढूंढती है. हम गलत कहते हैं कि हमने ये कहानी लिखी है, कहानी ने हमको चुना है, कहानी ऑलरेडी लिखी जा चुकी है, सब कुछ लिखा जा चुका है, वो आपको ढूंढती है. तो ओ माय गॉड की कहानी, मैं पहले टीचर ही था तो शायद उसने ढूंढ लिया था मुझे कि ये कहानी इसके पास ही जानी चाहिए. नहीं तो मैंने ये कहानी की रचना नहीं की है, डेस्टिनी ने तय किया था कि मेरे हाथ पास आएगी है, वो खुद चल के आएगी. इतनी ह्यूमिलिटी आपको चाहिए कहानी पे अप्रोच करते हैं.
इंट्यूशन आपकी बहुत ज्यादा डेवलप्ड है, स्पिरिचुअल गाइडेंस बहुत ज्यादा है, तो कुछ ऐसी चीजें आप फॉलो करते हैं जैसे विजुअलाइजेशन, मैनिफेस्टेशन, आप थोड़ा सा बता सकते हैं इसमें?
नहीं, मैं देखिए साधना तो मैं करता हूँ, जो गुरु ने सिखाया है वो साधना मैं करता हूँ. वो कोई चमत्कार पाने के लिए नहीं करता मैं. तो जो गुरु मुझे कहते हैं, अगर गुरु मुझे आज कहेगा ना कि भी कुएं में कूदना है, तो मैं वो दूसरा प्रश्न नहीं करूंगा गुरु को कि क्यों कूदना है. हो सकता है वो मुझे कुएं में कूदने का कुछ और सबक देना चाहते हो, मैं उनको प्रश्न नहीं करता. अगर जहां आप सरेंडर होते हो, अगर आपने प्रश्न करना शुरू कर दिया तो फिर आप नहीं जीत सकते, आप आगे नहीं जा सकते. मैंने ये सरेंडर कर दिया है गुरु को, तभी मुझे वो दिखाई देने लग गया. अगर मैं उसमें थोड़ा 50-50 या 80-20 या 70-25 करूंगा तो कुछ मैं जैसे मैं विश्वास करके पैर उठा देता हूँ, नीचे जमीन नहीं देखता हूँ. अगर जमीन देखूंगा ना फिर मैं नहीं चल पाऊंगा. मैं ऊंचाई पे जाने के बाद मैं बिंदास चल रहा हूँ, मैं गहराई देख ही नहीं रहा, मैं गुरु पे हाथ छोड़ दिया, अगर गिरना होगा तो पकड़ लेना.
अल्टीमेट सरेंडर. सो एक मैं आपको पूछना चाहती हूँ, आपके 2 नए प्रोजेक्ट्स आए हैं जो हमें न्यूज़ में मैंने देखा था, तो आप बताएंगे थोड़ा सा प्रोजेक्ट्स के बारे में? एक आई थिंक ऐतराज 2 यू आर डायरेक्टिंग.
ऐतराज 2 अभी मैं लिख रहा हूँ. वो एक नए तरीके से देखने की कोशिश है ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप को और कानून व्यवस्था को भी, कि कानून व्यवस्था वन साइडेड कभी नहीं हो सकती, और वो ना ही स्त्री की तरफ एक तरफ हो सकती है, ना वो पुरुष की तरफ एक तरफ हो सकती है. अगर वो एक तरफ हो जाएगी तो समाज की रचना ही ढह जाएगी. तो ऐतराज 2 फिर से मैं उस कहानी को फिर से नए सिरे से देख रहा हूँ कि क्या हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा बायस्ड हो गए हैं कि कानूनी रूप से किसी भी ह्यूमन रिलेशनशिप को देखने के चक्कर में, अगर औरत मर्द के बीच में कोई शारीरिक संबंध है और वो कंसेंट के साथ है, तो उसको कितनी ग्रे एरिया में देखना है, इसी पे है. मतलब अगर आपको लगता है कि किसी भी घटना को लेकर सिर्फ पुरुष ही जिम्मेदार है और स्त्री बिल्कुल जिम्मेदार नहीं, और किसी भी घटना को लेकर आपको लगता है नहीं सिर्फ स्त्री ही जिम्मेदार है, पुरुष बिल्कुल जिम्मेदार नहीं है, तो उस पर ऐतराज. वो आपको चारों तरफ से 360 डिग्री देखना पड़ेगा कि ये संबंध ऐसा क्यों है. तो उस पे ये लिखने की अभी कोशिश है.
फाइनलाइज हुए हैं एक्टर एंड एक्ट्रेसेस?
नहीं, अभी तक तो कुछ फाइनलाइज नहीं है, लेकिन बात चल रही है. देखें जो आगे है. मतलब थोड़ा बोल्ड है ये, बहुत बोल्ड है.
और दूसरा प्रोजेक्ट जो आप कर रहे हैं अभी?
एक्चुअली 2-3 हैं वो, जिसमें जो एक्टर आ जाए, क्योंकि हमारे यहाँ सारी मारामारी तो एक्टर की है, एक्टर नहीं है तो कहानी आप कर ही नहीं सकते. और आपको सीन तो पता ही होगा, अभी इसमें कुछ छुपा तो है नहीं. जिस तरह हमारा फंक्शन कर रहा है इंडस्ट्री पिछले 1.5-2 साल से, कोई प्रोजेक्ट माउंट नहीं होता, कोई एक्टर आगे नहीं आता, तो आप बंधे हुए हैं, यू आर बाउंड टू थिंक लाइक दैट कि जब तक कहानी एक्टर नहीं आएगा तब तक कहानी क्या करेंगे। आप लिख लीजिए भले कोई बड़ी कहानी, लेकिन एक्टर ही नहीं होगा तो क्या करेंगे। और दूसरा, बाकी लोग जो काम कर रहे हैं, सॉरी टू से, मतलब साउथ इंडियन सिनेमा में या विदेशों में, वो हमसे ज्यादा मेहनत कर रहे हैं, तो वो फिल्में चल रही हैं।
लेकिन एक बात है, जैसे आजकल OTT और बिग स्क्रीन, which one is the multiplex or OTT? Which one?
Definitely, with the advent of OTT, the market has drastically changed its shape and the way it is functioning. Now you have enough space to show the sleaze, vulgar content, or for that matter, obscene, I would not say, or rather I should not say vulgar also, but the way it has been presented. तो आपके पास गाली गलौज जैसे करने के लिए एक महफिल तो आ गई है जहां आप बिंदास रियलिस्टिक सिनेमा कर सकते हैं, जो थिएटर में आप एक्सेप्ट नहीं करवा सकते। तो आपके पास एक प्लेटफॉर्म तो आ गया है, लेकिन डेफिनेटली एक डिमार्केशन लाइन तो आ गई है। अब जो छोटी फिल्में लोग पहले ही बोल देते हैं कि यार ये थिएटर की नहीं होगी, पहले ऐसा नहीं था, पहले हर फिल्म थिएटर के लिए थी, ऑडियंस के लिए। अब एक स्ट्रिक्ट लाइन आ गई है जो थिएटर को जाएगी और OTT पे जाएगी। तो दे हैव स्टार्टेड नेमिंग इट लाइक यार ये तो OTT फिल्म। फॉर इंस्टेंट अगर नाम बोलेंगे तो चमकीला इज वन फिल्म, जस्ट टेस्टेड दैट सक्सेस विद द चमकीला, बट मुझे लगता है कि वो थिएटर में आती तो और अच्छा कर सकती। OTT पे आई वो।
आप एस्पायरिंग फिल्म मेकर्स को क्या एडवाइस करेंगे अभी जो ब्रेक थ्रू होने के लिए देख रहे हैं, दे आर लुकिंग फॉर अ ब्रेक?
अभी की जनरेशन बहुत बड़ी जनरेशन हो गई, जो हमारे टाइम बदलाव 10 साल में हो रहे थे वो अब एक दिन में हो रहे हैं। मुझे जो अगर कहानी लिखना हो तो मैं जिसको 4 साल लगा रहा हूँ, वो बच्चा अभी 1 महीने में लिख रहा है, और AI ने इतना सब कुछ इजी कर दिया है। बट देखिए, आत्मा और शरीर ये 2 अलग अलग चीजें हैं। मैडम तुषार के जो म्यूजियम में जो अमिताभ बच्चन की मूर्ति है और अमिताभ बच्चन जो जलसा में है, ये 2 अलग अलग लोग हैं। आप देख के बोल सकते हैं एकदम हूबहू अमिताभ बच्चन है, लेकिन वो अमिताभ बच्चन नहीं है। तो नए जनरेशन को देखना पड़ेगा कि आप अपनी बुद्धि का ही इस्तेमाल करें। अगर जितना डिपेंडेंट होंगे AI पे, वो आपको आलसी करने वाला है। आपको लगेगा कि हाँ आपका काम तो बहुत आसानी से हो गया, आपकी क्रिएटिविटी के लिए कोई रास्ता नहीं होगा, यू विल नॉट ग्रो। तो स्टॉप कि आप उस तरह सोचना शुरू करें कि हाँ भी मेरे को 4 लाइन लिखने में AI को बोलता हूँ, लिख देगा, बाद में चूज करके निकाल के काट के बना लेंगे। ये कईयों की नौकरियां भी ले रहा है, लेकिन ये है बहुत डेंजरस सिचुएशन। तो नई जनरेशन को चाहिए कि अपनी ओरिजिनलिटी बनाए रखें। और दूसरा बेसिक एलिमेंट्री चीज जो हम कहीं पता नहीं बच्चों को क्यों नहीं सिखा रहे हैं कि सच बोलो, ईमानदार रहो, दूसरों को तकलीफ मत दो, जियो और जीनो। तो बेसिक चीजें ही गायब हो गई।
मॉरल सेंस
ही जीरो हो गया है। मतलब हमको लगता है जो विलन है वही हीरो है, वो बहुत खतरनाक है।
वेरी वेरी ट्रू। आपने एक बात बोली है AI के लिए, आपको ऐसे मतलब आपको सुनाई देता है इंडस्ट्री में जैसे AI के स्क्रिप्ट आ गए हैं, वो देख के पता चल जाता है कि AI का स्क्रिप्ट है?
डेफिनेटली आपको AI का स्क्रिप्ट देख के 100% समझ में आएगा, क्योंकि आप आदमी को देख रहे होंगे ना। जिस आदमी से आप बात करेंगे वो बात करते वक्त एकदम हॉलो है, और जो स्क्रिप्ट आई वो स्पीलबर्ग की स्क्रिप्ट है, तो उसमें 2 मिनट नहीं लगेगा पता करने। You can easily make out who has written the script. At the end of the day, if you are taking it as a business, then it's a different story altogether. But if you are taking it as a puja or as a worship, if you worship your profession, then nobody can stop you. तो AI देखिए हर चीज का अपना एक एडवांटेज होता है, डिसएडवांटेज। जब VCR आया तो लोगों ने कहा वो थिएटर मर जाएंगे, फिर OTT आया बोला थिएटर मर जाएंगे, तो अभी 1000-1200 का धंधा पुष्पा कैसे कर रही है? पब्लिक को हम बेवकूफ नहीं समझो, पब्लिक बहुत होशियार है, वो देखेगी उसको जो देखना है, आप उसको रोक नहीं पाओगे। तो पुष्पा 2 देखेगी तो वो 12th फेल भी देखने आएगी, वो 12th फेल देखने आएगी तो स्त्री 2 भी देखने आएगी, ओ माय गॉड 2 भी देखने आएगी।
यस, एब्सोल्युटली।
आई थिंक मुझे अगर बोलना होगा कुछ, तो मैं बेसिकली बोलना चाहूंगा बहुत एलिमेंट्री चीजों पे ही बोलना चाहूंगा, क्योंकि वही अब सबसे ज्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट हो गया है। क्योंकि अगर मैं घर में परिवार को कोई महत्व नहीं दे रहा हूँ तो मैं एवेंजर जैसी फिल्म बना ही नहीं पाऊँ। मैं अगर अपने पार्टनर को प्रेम ही नहीं करता तो मैं ऐसी कोई कहानी कह ही नहीं पाऊंगा जिसमें प्रेम हो। ये सब कुछ आपके मन से अर्जित होने वाला है, तो ओरिजिनेट्स फ्रॉम योर हार्ट एंड माइंड। इफ दैट्स नॉट प्योर, if that is being manipulated, and you know how to manipulate it, then the product will be manipulated. If you are taking as a reference that I make a film like that, and you are working on a reference film, so you are never going to make an original film.
True.
My advice would be to not to get into the reference business. आप कुछ ऐसा create करो जो वो reference बन जाए। तो जब क्रिस्टोफर नोलन इंटरस्टेलर लेके आता है तो वो रेफरेंस बन जाता है हमारे लिए, अरे वैसी फिल्म कर, इंसेप्शन जैसी। तभी फिर ये हमको स्कूल से ही बताना पड़ेगा बच्चों, जब बच्चा स्कूल जा रहा है तभी से बोलना पड़ेगा कि ये तुम ओरिजिनल जो हो ना, जो एवरी चाइल्ड इज स्पेशल, वैसा
Yes.
कि आप स्पेशल हो, आपको जो अच्छा लगता है वो कर, तभी हम उस्ताद जाकिर हुसैन या AR रहमान या MM करीम या RD बर्मन बना पाएंगे। नहीं तो फिर सब ऐसे तो बहुत सारे म्यूजिक डायरेक्टर होते हैं, वो इधर देखते हैं उसके ऐसा बनाते हैं, इसके ऐसा बनाते हैं, इसके उसके ऐसा करने की कोशिश ना करो, अपने ऐसा करने की कोशिश करोगे तो शायद सफलता बहुत जल्दी।
Amazing conclusion. Amit ji, आपसे बात करके बहुत अच्छा लगा. Thank you so much for joining. And thank you for sharing your story and enlightening us with your knowledge.
Thank you so much. Pleasure is mine.
Thank
God
you.
bless you.